Okay, we're going to do a leather wrap today. A lot of people have been asking, so we're going to do one. Basically what you're going to need is a leather wrap blank. You're going to pick one out that matches the cue. This one happens to be a Western bull pattern. Actually, I think this is a genuine bull hide. It's going to get wrapped up on here. So what you need is the blank, some tape, some safety razors, and basically that's it. We're going to start by masking off the joint. This is just to make life a little bit easier as far as contact cement goes. We're going to try and not get too much on the finish. It'll clean off very easily, but if we take just a little bit of care now, it'll make our job easier. I like to use a unique Wrap Magic fixture, and this makes life, if you're doing leather wraps, very simple. Basically this just cuts the seam on the leather. It's got one purpose. I like to use it for two parts of my job, and I'm going to just mark a couple of straight lines, and I'm going to do that to make sure that my wrap goes on straight. All I'm going to do is mark a straight line here along this tape. I'll turn the cue around 180 degrees or so, and just make sure that we're going to put the seam somewhere that doesn't look too bad. On a multi-point cue it's not so important, but that's good enough. It's not a big deal. A multi-point cue is not a big deal, but if you've got a 4-pointer, you really want to have that seam put someplace where you're not going to notice it too much. So back into the lathe it goes. This is my centering lines, and we got it pretty well centered on a couple of points here. The other half, where the seam is going to go, we're going to put a piece of 1-inch tape. It doesn't have to be perfect, pretty well where we marked it. And the reason we're going to do this is so we don't get any glue on here. That's where we're going to do our final seam. Next step, we're going to look and make sure that our leather is the right thickness to our wrap groove, and it's real close. If the leather is proud of the cue, we can just sand the backside. It's pretty thick. We can sand it to match up. Real important on the edges, not so much in the middle. Next thing we want to do is just tape our blank down. Get the tape pretty much in the center, and we're going to measure it and mark the centers off. So it's really close. No, it's not long enough, of course. Okay. Next step is going to be get your wrap template. I happen to have one that slides Now this is how we're going to get our measurement. I'm going to lock my headstock in so it doesn't move. This is where the center lines come into play. I'm going to center up my holes on my wrap jig, center to center. Here we go. I'm going to center these holes on the lines. It's marked, brand new safety razor. Real important that it's brand new, because this is what is going to make our seam. I'm going to take one big swipe across, following the radius of our wrap template. Again on the top side with the other side of the blade, still brand new. Here's our wrap. If all goes well, fits right in the hole, just like it was made. Our next step is to get some contact cement. I like this Top Bond, works really good. It's a little bit smelly, but that's how we know it works. And I just want to coat the whole wrap area of the cue liberally. And you can see where the tape is. There's no glue there, and that's just going to make it easy to seam our wrap. Contact cement on the wrap blank as well. Most guys do leather in a very similar way to each other. Some people like to use Elmer's glue. I prefer the contact cement. Never had one come off yet. This is the boring part. I want to make sure this is well coated. Don't want to have any spots that didn't get any contact cement. It's pretty tough to go back afterwards and apply contact cement in the middle of your leather wrap blank. Now if you don't have one of these fancy sliding wrap jigs to measure the wrap handle, you're going to have to get a couple of these metal rulers and cut them in half so you can have two pieces and overlap to get this exactly the right measurement. Very critical that you're not too small or too big. So having one of those wrap jigs really does make life easier. Now we're going to wait until this contact cement is not tacky, so we're going to take a little break and come back.